I'm Red's back with another video. It's June 30th, I believe, Saturday afternoon, 3:34 p.m. And apparently I'm having problems with my internet connection. So I called the service, and they are going to call me back as soon as the service is available. Apparently in my area, this is a problem that's affecting a lot of people. So for someone who's sitting here in solitude, I guess I'm going to be twiddling my thumbs for the rest of the day. I did clean my house earlier, but and really, I'm not a very big TV watcher, but I do, have it on, and most of the time I listen to music, and I do watch some TV, like I guess, YouTube mostly, and Netflix and Hulu and a few other things, but still, I'm not somebody who relies on TV so desperately, but it would be nice to have my TV back on. But anyway, so I was thinking, I was flipping through some videos today. I didn't get a chance to watch this video because I think I've seen it before, but it's basically talking about, targeted individuals and their experience. And there's so many different videos out there, so many targets out there, talking about their experience. And, I thought I hadn't seen this one before, so I thought I'd take a look at it real quick since it was flashing in front of my face as an option. But then I kept looking at it, I kept thinking, okay, I have seen this one before. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, I was thinking, talking to a friend today this morning, and she was talking about the solitude aspect of being a target and how damaging it is to a person, because it's almost as if like you're being quarantined or you're being silenced, and it's beyond your control. Some people think, oh, you're isolated. You're isolated, but it's not your fault. It's not something that you would ask or want to happen to you. It's just something that happens, and it's extremely psychologically demoralizing. That's the best way I can really describe it. It's a nightmare is basically what it is. And so, you're limited in what you can do. I know that, there were activities that I used to participate here in town, like I used to go to a particular shop every once in a while, just to kind of get away from things. And the infiltration of your personal life is just, it destroys so much opportunities for you to have a social life in any way. So you end up being in isolation. And it is a very painful experience, and I was thinking, how, this issue is becoming so common with so many people, and I really hope that, this doesn't continue to happen, and that people will wake up and start realizing what this really is, and the terrible effects that it has on people psychologically, as well as financially and everything else. I mean, like I said before in several of my other videos, and any other targeted individual will say that this does, affects every aspect of your life. And it does, in a way that I can't even describe. It's always in the back of your mind. You never have any peace. You're constantly in a state of agitation. And it's constant worry, because there's people manipulating, controlling, and directing your life, and you have no idea what to expect. All you know is that you're the one who is suffering for it. Whatever the reasons are, it's wrong to prevent a person or block a person or prevent a person from living their life. And it's sad because this happens to so many people, and I keep thinking how I not worry, but I'm concerned about other people and their future. How, since this could happen to anybody, so many people could lose so much in their life because of this, and it's very devastating, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. Of course, the people who did this to me, I will say that I wish them this and more, because I can't find any reason why, other than some sort of psychotic rage, as to why somebody would do what they would do to a person. I have days where, I try to be optimistic, and then there's days where, I would say there's more days where I'm not feeling optimistic. There's days where I just really it's like I wake up and it's the same nightmare over and over again. And you want it to stop. You want it to end. You want it to just, to move on and get, a sense of security and feel safe, but you don't, and it's a terrifying situation to be in, on a daily basis. You wonder, what's going to happen next. And so, the people who are, orchestrating all of this, they have this idea in their mind that they're doing the right thing, even though you're basically telling them that you have lost everything, you are struggling financially, and they continue on with the program. It's like, I'm not exactly sure why they do it, but I consider these sort of things to be a hate crime, period. Because what else could it be? There's no justification, reason to put a person through this sort of agony. It's wrong. It's wrong, and, it would be different. I mean, it really wouldn't be different. Let's just say, for example, I was a criminal, okay, which obviously I'm not. The people who did this are criminals. But if I was a criminal, this is something that's handled in the court system, okay? Obviously, I've committed a crime, but these people take it upon themselves to be like a kangaroo court, to, issue out some sort of punishment. And that's what it feels like. It feels like you're being punished for something, and you have no idea what you've done or how you've offended somebody. I've offended no one. Oftentimes you're working for an employer who has a very distorted view of what their role is. Like, they think they have more power over a person than what they really do. And oftentimes you leave an employer, you leave a good employer because you're basically dealing with a harassment issue, and then you move on, and because you just want peace in your life and you think that you're going to be able to move on, and you move on and they actually come after you. Okay, that's harassment intensified is basically what it is, and that's all it is. Okay, but it's like, how long can a person live under this sort of oppression? How long can a person put up with something like this on a continual basis? I don't care what the reasons are. I felt as though, I never really had much of a relationship with my previous employer. I got along with her okay, in the beginning, and then I realized that something was seriously wrong. I started backing away, which is understandable, because once you're in a mobbing situation, you can't get out of it. It's like it's designed to take you down. Okay, so I just wanted to move on, and I tried. I made an attempt to move on, move back to Bakersfield, and guess what? This intrusion continued on till this present day. So some of these people, some of you targets out there, have been tracked, and your life has been manipulated for a very, very long time, okay? And, for some of you people who are starting to look back and realize that there were certain things that happened to you that led up to a certain point of where you're at right now, you are probably coming to the realization that you yourself are a target individual. And once the realization hits you, it is like a ton of bricks, okay? I would say it's worse than 5 deaths in your family all at once, okay? Now, mind you, I'm not close to my family, but I think a lot of people have closer bonds with their family than I do. But I will tell you, it is very devastating. And you walk around in a constant state of depression and anxiety and worry. And it is a terrifying situation to be in, okay? I'm hoping, that employers will start to understand why these things are against the law, why you are not permitted to do or act this way towards anyone, okay? It is a form of harassment that is obviously covered in their basic training, but they tend to ignore it, and there's so many things that I have to say on this topic, so many things about how people get, let their emotions or their, the mob or the group think literally get to the best of them, I think that's what happened in the case of my previous employer, where she just couldn't let it go. Like, she was very controlling, And I considered myself to be very respectful towards her. However, I realized that I couldn't stay there, so I had to leave. And it was that simple, okay? But there are some people who just, they look at it as like a form of being slighted, so they want to not just let it go, they want to continue the bullying. And this is what happens to targets. Their entire life falls apart, period, So you're left to pick up the pieces. How do you pick up and get on with your life? It is extremely devastating, And then to think that these people invite other people into your life, people that, like, for example, in my case, people that I knew on Facebook, these people were basically on a high and by basis to me, okay? Not to say that I wouldn't want to see them again or get in contact with them again, but still to know that these people had something to do with your personal life. I'm the kind of person, I didn't have it easy when I was growing up. So there's a lot of things that I really don't want to go into, and I don't want to remember. You know what I mean? I want to move on from some of those issues that went on in my life. And then you find out this huge group of people who are involved in your life that you don't really even talk to that much anymore, but yet they have some sort of say and the ability to manipulate certain things in your life, and it's a shock. It just comes as a major shock to you. So you're going through all these weird feelings, and you're wondering what the hell is going on with you. You desperately try to find some sort of shelter, find, stable employment, just so you could get back on your feet and get on with your life and forget the tragedy. But they continue and persist in your life. And it's terrifying. Okay, I can't really explain how terrifying it is, but it's extremely terrifying and extremely depressing. So, I know that I'm the kind of person, I'm very talkative, and I like to socialize, which people would probably think that's not true, seeing as how, most people who see me in town, I just kind of go in and get my stuff. But, you can't help but behave in a certain way after you've experienced certain things, And when you've been under a constant state of harassment, constant state of trauma, since, and I'm going to tell you, I've been harassed in a lot of my jobs because of my family's infiltration into my personal life, which they had no right to. But then I can sit there and tell you that in the last 10 years since leaving this particular employer, it has been one traumatizing experience after another. And I can honestly tell you, and I can say this and swear on a stack of Bibles, okay, that none of this is my fault. This is the responsibility of a psychotic employer. And it should stop, And so when you see someone in your workplace who has these sort of characteristics, this is something you need to be concerned about, because it's dangerous. It's dangerous to the employee. It's dangerous to the reputation of the company. You know what I mean? Anyway, I hope that people will learn from it. But, there's a part of me that kind of gives up on society as a whole, because when you experience this sort of thing, and the negative behavior and the monstrous actions of certain people, you lose faith in people completely. I mean, I always knew people were shit, right? But you lose faith in everything, and you start looking at people in a completely different way, and you wonder, is there any good in this world? And that's pretty much where I'm at this point. And I think a lot of targets are. You have to constantly think about protecting yourself, and you don't really believe that people are decent, or people really have an interest in serving God, and you think that all religion is just a mask to cover up their evil, because that's really basically what I've seen and experienced. You can only go on what you've experienced, and this is what I've experienced, and I will say that it's been very negative. So I think that's the case with a lot of targeted individuals. So anyway, I'm hoping today that I will get my cable, what do you want to call it, internet connection back up and running. That would be nice, because this evening, I would like to settle down, listen to some music. If not, I have some CDs. I have CDs I've been carting around for the longest time, okay? Which I think is kind of funny, because some people don't even use them anymore, and I'm wondering, why am I carrying around all these CDs? It's kind of ridiculous. God knows I don't have the space for it, but I have them. So if I have to, I guess I can throw some of those on, But hopefully I'm going to try to get some sleep tonight. It does affect your sleep patterns because you're constantly in a state of worry. And oftentimes, you're dealing with, flashbacks. You experience flashbacks of trauma. And it is very serious. And then the top of it all, you're placed in a position of solitude where you can't talk to anybody about this. So you never get any closure. So I want people to understand that when they think that they have the right to interfere with somebody's life the way that they did, okay, what they're doing is wrong, and think twice about it. And if you have a family member that you have, an issue with, or maybe you don't like their shoes, you don't like handle those sort of issues, your personal opinions, and keep it in your family. Do not throw that out in the public sector. I'm hoping that people will learn from this issue, because it is so wrong to, obstruct or try to impose somebody's personal taste and likes on an individual in the United States of America. Okay, that's insane. Okay, but you'll be surprised how many so-called American citizens are actually more interested in having some complete different government setup, to where your rights are just kind of tossed out the window. Okay, so there's a lot of what you call hypocrisy, or double talk, double speak, whatever you want to call it, that goes on in the average day, everyday average American citizen, where they have these warped views. Okay, this is not the way you're supposed to live in this country. Okay, anyway, so shocking, very shocking, but I guess I'm just trying every day. I try to get myself mentally prepared, figure out what I'm going to do, because I feel like I'm in a period of stagnation, and I don't like this period of stagnation. I don't like the way my life is going at this point. You know what I mean? And it's been that way for a long time, and I'm hoping that Karen Johnson and these people who got involved against my will have cleaned up their crap, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of paying a price for something that I didn't do. You know what I mean? I have been cooperative since day one. Okay, so be careful about bully bosses. Be careful about companies that don't uphold confidentiality. Be careful about people who gossip too much. These are the people you need to look out for, And if you have any children, that you care about, and you really want to make sure that they're taken care of and they're doing good in their life, you got to keep family issues separate from work issues. Keep your family business to yourself, okay? Obviously, my family is a psychotic family, and, I'm very glad that I disown them. And I'm taking time out to heal from the years of their ridiculous abuse, okay? So then you get these employers who think it's okay to abuse this particular person because, hey, their older sister does. You have no idea. Why in the world is your family involved in your personal life as a grown adult? It's these people who don't understand their roles in the workplace, who violate laws on a continual basis, cause nothing but problems. So why can't the workplace change? Why can't people be hired and know what they're doing, and know how to keep confidentiality, and know how to keep private about these things, and know what's separate from a work issue and what's separate from what's a domestic issue? But they don't. Okay, so there's a lot of ignorance going on in this world, and the more I look at it, the more terrifying it becomes, because I realize how dangerous ignorance is. It is a terrifying thing, and I'm afraid of people who have that attitude. Well, it's not that big of a deal. It is that big of a deal, because you can throw somebody into a system that closely resembles genocide. Okay, all because you don't know what you're doing. It is a very serious position to hold. And I remember when I was back in the 90s, I was reading some information about management, and it was basically talking about that. Now I fully can relate to what it was saying about why confidentiality is of the utmost important. Why, you have to be careful about what kind of person you hire, and are they able to keep certain secrets? Are they going to be talking down to their subordinates and creating what they call a social cancer? Because a lot of people do. And these are not the kind of people that should be leaders and should be running companies or should be the head of a company. And this creates the kind of chaos that affects people's lives. And really, it's a bad image. It does create a very bad image. So anyway, I don't know how long my phone's going to go for. I've been running my mouth for a very long time. Anyway, I've got some things I do have to take care of. I'm going to sweep up a little bit here, and and try to tidy up. I'm probably gonna get in my pajamas early this evening, and I will be back with another video tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.